Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down. Travis Wingoodsell. What the hell are you talking about? Just so you know, LDS is total BS. He didn't say BS. YouTube didn't flag it. On absorb the newly created doctrine. I guess somehow he thinks that I'm pro-church. What the hell are you talking about? Just so you know, the church is completely corrupt and are intending to overthrow this nation and thus cause lots of mass murders and chaos and stealing of money. And so this is what we're talking about today. Because those of you who've been following and who know me and the subject matters of my videos, I'm very surprised you have not been practicing with your Urim and Thummim lately. I only found out about it because Date sent me a notification of it. Going, what the hell? I was told way back when, in 2022, that there wouldn't be any more until 2025. Dear God, I was lied to. So, if we can find the chart, there it is. And it's posted on Academia, I believe. So you can access it for free because I'm putting everything on this getting fulfilled real quick here. Bye-bye, Nelson. Bye-bye. Because this is out of my control. This is just incredibly wild and scary, yet awesome, yet exciting, yet, oh my God. Because it is out of my control. This is scientifically derived, and yet, dear God, this is just speechless. So, let's go over it yet again with the late breaking news this morning with time and date finally notifying me of it. I was thinking, I was like, oh no, how is this going to happen if Nelson does go on this year at the end of the latter days? There's no lunar eclipse. This is weird. I don't understand. And whoops, there it is. Everything's just fine. So, Revelation is a book, and even though apocalypse is the Greek form of it, it actually indicates day and time of prophesied events to occur. That's what Revelation is. Brigham Young called it astrology, but he's wrong. It's astronomy. This is why it's science, not fruitcake land. And so, we get a blatantly obvious one, as I hear my laundry just stopped. Okay, it's going to have to sit. Unless the camera freezes again and I have to stop the video. Chapter 12, it says, hey, there's a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. So it's not actually real. I would hope there is no more people who believe that this is actually real. Unfortunately, there are. They were born-again Christians in Southern California. The literal truth of the Bible. Just as it says in the translated English form, so is it. And so is it going to be. He drew really cool dragons, though. I really would love to be able to buy his artwork. Nonetheless, and notwithstanding, this is the 23rd of September 2017, the start of the latter days, and the start of the Mormon Messiah's ministry to Mormons to save them from the great and abominable church that's seeking to hold them in captivity, steal their money, murder them, and utterly destroy them so that they can get their kingdom of Lucifer back in the millennial reign of peace and happiness in Revelation 19. But here's where I caught on to what was going on in the bigger picture. Verse 4. Verse 3 is 17th of December 2017. That's the 5th dark day of Hanukkah. And so, yeah, the dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns on his head. It's at the tail of Serpens. Serpens has on the crown the corona borealis. 7 stars on his head. 7 crowns. Corona. Crown. Because I know all about that, because I went to Norco High School in Southern California. Our stake center, where I went to seminary and church until the boundaries were split, and that was when I went to Rexburg, and so I came home to go on my mission in the Norco ward to give my farewell on Mother's Day. They didn't like it, having farewells on Mother's Day, but not too much time before I had to report to the MTC. I made sure I was not going to be home long. So, notwithstanding and nonetheless, Corona High School, right across the street from Corona. So, I know all about it. Crown beer. And apparently my peers tell me, this is what my peers tell me, I don't know, I don't drink it, I smell it, it was bad. and if it's true, then it's not racist. If they're lying, yeah, it's racist, and knowing my peers, it's racist, because apparently it's made of urine. Down in Mexico. God, it was such a horrible life. So many nightmares. So anyway, back on track. Monson, he dies in verse 4. This is where all of a sudden, oh wow, not only is this actually happening, it's happening big time. Because Monson's death, according to the sign in the heavens, was huge. Did all the videos way back in the day. And so, pay attention to the Joseph Smith translation, Revelation 12, 1-17, appendix. Note the change sequence of numbers. Verse 5 gets moved to verse 3. But in verse 1, he adds, "And there appeared a great sign in heaven, in the likeness of things on the earth." This is Jewish Kabbalah. This is prophecy, things on the earth, prediction of the future. Sign in the heavens, the day and time, according to the star date. Anybody familiar with Star Trek? Star date, 3333. Captain's log. Yeah, star date. It's a precise time that everyone can know when it happened. And though I think Gene Roddenberry's star dates are not in accordance with that, this is according to how we on Earth view the heavens. that star date. And so we do not use that star date. But if we were to make the perfect calendar, it would be where the sun is, where the moon is, where Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, and Mercury are on any given event, time, day, and then we would know. And so, yeah, we'd have autistic kids who you tell them Jupiter is in Virgo, Mars is in Pisces, Venus is in Capricorn, Mercury and Sun, and so on, and they would say 13th of October, 1763, something like that. They would be that special. That would be cool. Just like the Bruce Willis movie, which makes me cry, because an autistic boy who sees secret codes in the puzzles calls the hotline, and then his parents are murdered by Baldwin, who has so far escaped prison per se, but the armory woman has now gone to prison for, what was it, Rust? Was that the name of the movie, with a woman getting shot by Baldwin? Very sad. But anyway, yeah, this is what they're talking about here. There are signs in the heavens from scriptures, and they correspond with events for the latter days. And there's Monson in verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. Dragon, Draco, quadranted meteor showers, third largest meteor showers of the year. On the 2nd of January, which was the extended supermoon day, and then another supermoon, was the total solar eclipse. The super total solar, or lunar, super total blue wolf red moon solar blood eclipse. It was massive. It was everything. Wolf moon. Of all moons to have, it was the wolf moon. So that was just wild. We should check. What is March's? Is it the leprechaun? The leprechaun moon. Yes, I had my Lucky Charms for my birthday. What are you doing? I don't want to know what's new, Google. Cut it out. Leave me alone. I'm searching for things. I'm not going to play your little games. What moon is March? The worm. And it's going to be a penumbral worm moon on the 24th and 25th, which, yes, guess what? Purim. The Jewish Purim. Anybody know your Purim story? Give you a hint, Ishtar. Still can't figure it out? Well, it's translated to English as Esther. Yeah, Queen Esther, who gets married into the harem of the Persian king, and the bad guy of the story is going to build a weapon to destroy the Jews, and Mordecai, who is Marduk, of the... It's a Babylonian version of the Egyptian versions through most of the Bible. It's done in the exact same way. And scholars have figured out that Esther is written in this way, using Mordecai as Marduk and Esther as Ishtar. They've figured that out, but they can't apply it to the rest of the Bible. And so, yeah, so Queen Esther is told by Mordecai, hey, tell the king that you're going to have to die because you're a Jew. And he really loved her because his previous first wife refused to dance naked for his friends, so she divorced him. And so, Esther, and you're not allowed to go into the presence of the king unless you're called for. And so she breaks the rules and says, I'm going to die. Your servant is building a weapon to murder me and my people, the Jews. Oh, I love you, Sorsha. You are my sun, my moon, my guiding star. Without you, I dwell in darkness. And it went away. Hello, the best movie scene ever. Awesome. And so, where were we? Yeah, Draco the Dragon. And so, what is also fascinating is that John doesn't seem to indicate the first 3 days of darkness, which are solar eclipses over the United States of America. He just gives us Revelation 19, which is the last day of darkness, the end of the latter days. And so I had to figure it out from other Bible stories to make the connection, as I knew way back on November 4th, 2016, Fox 13 News Utah announces the coming of the solar eclipse over the whole United States of America, rather than talking about the election. But in so doing, my jaw dropped because I knew exactly what it meant. I just didn't know how much it meant. And it meant big time. Bigly. And so I'm kicking myself because I was then going, oh, it means that, oh. I had published a book indicating that Trump was purposely tanking the election to lose. And little did I know that Babylon would be putting on Zedekiah on the throne. Hilarious. And so I then went and checked, because 21st of August 2017, whose birthday was it? Monson's birthday. It's also the ancient Egyptian religious calendar New Year. It changes all the time because it's 360 days. And so for a solar eclipse on the New Year, yeah, that's the Egyptian prophecy from which the Bible authors got it from. This is just huge, all of the events for the latter days. And Mormons don't believe any of it, because Jesus is real as not real, or at least half real, because we're non-Trinitarian. Dear God, you are missing out on everything. And so, knowing my scriptures, knowing Deuteronomy 19, about false accusers getting the punishment that they were falsely accusing of the victim. So if you falsely accuse somebody that would get the death penalty, you get the death penalty. If you get your eye poked out, the false accuser gets his eye poked out. So on and so forth. Nobody understands that correctly. And so Joseph Smith was assassinated. He was falsely accused, framed, and murdered. And they murdered him on a sign in the heavens. Sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heavens. And so thus, the law of the Jews kicks in for false accusers. And, Brigham Young? Yep. This is one of several confirmations that Brigham Young is the leader of the Danites who murdered Joseph Smith, paid the Judas price. Okay? And so, Joseph Smith started his reign in ministry on the 6th of April, 1830. His death, 27th of June, 1844. Now, anybody who knows the learning of the Jews and has seen my videos on this knows all about the tree of life. Mormons are missing out on so much information, so much light and truth, because the tree of life for Jewish Kabbalah has 8 designated points on the human body, which are connected by 10 lines. And so in Jewish Kabbalah, you times 8 to 10, which is How did I get 180? There's 180 somewhere on that. I'm getting brain freeze in the middle of the video. Maybe I can take care of the laundry while I figure it out. Is it? I now have to look at it. 180, 10 is 80, and 100, 18. That's right, 18 and 180. Oh my God. Brain freeze. Times 10 for perfection. And 180 years from when Joseph died is 2024. The last year of the latter days and the start of the millennium with the King of Mormons, the Christ of Mormons, the millennium. And so he was murdered with the solar eclipse on the 16th of June, 1844. It was a partial. I'm not seeing a penumbral in any of these. N. There's N. Yeah, okay. Yeah, George A. Smith had a penumbral. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. had a penumbral. And that's all I see is a penumbral. And so the solar eclipse was a partial solar eclipse on the 16th of June, 1844. Now, I had set my original range of 1 month before and after. That was me doing it. There are some variations, as I noticed going over these, but it's plus or minus days. So it still fits in the overall pattern. It's just not the pattern that I had set up. Okay? Because I didn't want to have a solar eclipse a year before and a lunar eclipse a year after one of the prophets died. That doesn't hold any weight in this test that I ran. And so I did the closest solar and lunar eclipses to the death of the president of Brigham Young's church. And so the lunar eclipse was on the 31st of May, 1844. So right before, and then the solar eclipse was after Joseph died, was assassinated. And so Joseph is not being murdered by God. He was assassinated by man. He was falsely accused and murdered. And thus the law kicks in from Deuteronomy 19. And so yes, it's hilarious. Official Declaration number 1, Wilford Woodruff, verse 11. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Because yes, he has 2 cents for him because he said that. That'll teach you. It's just, dear God, this is just too wild. And even Bruce R. McConkie, yeah, as well as Perry Packer Scott in 2014-2015 Tetrad, yeah, sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven, Perry Packer Scott, bye-bye, which paved the way for Nelson to be in the pole position. All of this, the church cannot do this. This is out of their control. This is just incredible. Wow. And so, Brigham Young gets exposed as the usurper. This was before I knew about the Joseph Smith papers and all the myriad documents that show that Brigham Young is the usurper. And so he died 29th of August, 1877. And so he had a total, or was it 2 partials? Because I don't have an indicator for the type. But it was 8/9/1877 and 9/7/1877, which was partial. So if both were partials, that's why I didn't put one on the other one. Or I could have forgotten and didn't put it in, because it was the first of the list. And so 2 solar eclipses for Brigham Young, but only 1 lunar eclipse. Somebody's saying something to you, Brigham. And so it was a negative total solar eclipse on the 23rd of August, 1877. And so that is interesting. And John Taylor, July 25th, 1887. And so we had 19th of August, 1887, a total solar eclipse. 3rd of August, 1887, a partial lunar eclipse. Wilford Woodruff, 2nd of September, 1898, and then the 2. The solar was an annular, 7/1898, and then 12. And so there's clearly an extra gap beyond just the 1 month, and beyond just a few days even. But I thought that was significant because the lunar eclipses were the 3rd of July as a partial on in 1898, and then on the 27th of December a total lunar eclipse. And so the ones before in July, and then the ones in December, in the same month. And so that was a significant pattern, because that's what you do, is you run a test, you find the patterns, and then when there are anomalies, you run a theory test, present the evidence, develop a conclusion on sound argument, Socratic methodology, run the test, free confirmations. You've got, there's 4 at least. And so, Wilford Woodruff, down in flames. Lorenzo Snow, 10 October 1901, 11 November 1901, annular eclipse. 27 October 1901, a partial lunar eclipse. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr. died of the sickness that was going around in 1918 and 1919. And so he died from that sickness on 19 November 1918. And solar eclipse on 3rd December 1918, it was an annular, and 17 December 1918 was the penumbral lunar eclipse. Heber J. Grant, who restarted up the church, didn't bother to tell Mormons that the church had ceased to exist on the face of the earth. 14th of May, 1945. It was right there near the end of the war. And so July 9th, which is 2 months ahead, 1945, a total solar eclipse. But in June, 1 month away, 25th of June, 1945, a partial lunar eclipse. And so that is unique, but I see the pattern. George Albert Smith, 4th April, 1951, 7th of March. Anybody been watching my videos the last couple of weeks, where I talk about the 7th of March? So I did a video on the 7th of March this year. 1951, annular eclipse. 23rd of March, 1951, a penumbral lunar eclipse for George Albert Smith, whose daddy is a naughty non-nun. As I found out in the video I did the other day. David O. McKay, 18th of January, 1970. Anybody know the significance of this year? Who's coming into the world? Who's condescending? Nephi's vision. And guess what? 7th March 1970, total solar eclipse. I saw his star in the east, and we have come to worship him. And we are giving his parents frankincense, myrrh, and gold for his funeral, for his mummification. That's what it was for. Oh, those Jews are so funny. And then, on the 21st of February, 1970, a penumbral eclipse. And Joseph Fielding Smith Jr., 2nd of July, 1972. 10 July 1972, total solar eclipse. 26 July 1972, a partial lunar eclipse. Harold B. Lee, 26 December 1973. And all of these dying all right together here. 1970, 1972, 1973, and then finally Spencer W. Kimball lasts until 1985. So Harold B. Lee, 24th of December, 1973, annular solar eclipse, the day after Joseph's birthday. 10 December 1973, a partial lunar eclipse. Spencer W. Kimball, 5th November 1985, 12th November 1985, total solar eclipse. 28th of October 1985, a total lunar eclipse. Did not like Spencer W. Kimball, I guess. Oh, right. He changed the name of the Book of Mormon. And other abominations, covering up the blood stain that proved it was Joseph, or Hiram's, not Joseph's. And thus revealed the true murder that went on there. Ezra Taft Benson, 30th of May, 1994, 10th of May, 1994, annular solar eclipse. 25th of May, 1994, a partial lunar eclipse. Hunter, only a pregnancy period of service, and still he gets included. What is also interesting is that Benson was 9 years, Howard W. Hunter was 9 months, and I was joking at that time, going, I wonder if Hinckley is going to be 9 days. Nope. But Hunter, 3rd of March 1995, 29th of April 1995 annular, and 15th of April 1995 partial lunar. Gordon B. Hinckley, and this was a big one because he and Faust flipped in the heavens. It was weird that the two of them were involved in their own separate category, as Gordon B. Hinckley was also part of the president pattern as well. That was wild. And so 27th of January 2008, 7th February 2008, annular. 21st of February 2008, a total lunar eclipse. He was the one that gave me the Jesus card, and also I had the dream where he gave me his card to his office. Monson, 2nd of January 2018. The big one. And so I included his birthday, 21st of August 2017, the total solar eclipse over the United States of America, because that's the first year of the latter days. That signified the first year, along with the 23rd of September 2017, along with the presidential election where Babylon would put Zedekiah on the throne. But we also have 15th of February 2018, which was a partial solar eclipse. And 31st of January 2018, a super total blood wolf. Lunar eclipse. And so I had Russell Marion Nelson put in there, but separated, because he hadn't died yet. He fell last year. Hilarious. He was humiliated. Took 3 weeks to tell us that he fell on his birthday and 2 days after his birthday. I told you he fell on his birthday. And then 3 weeks later, he says that he fell on 9/11. Hilarious. And so, yes, this is it. This is the last year of the latter days. And so, according to the pattern, we should expect Nelson to die this year. If he dies next year, or any other time in the future, it doesn't fit the pattern. And this pattern's not up to me. It's not up to Nelson or any of the other prophets. None of the presidents could be in charge of this. This is wild. And it's very clear that whoever is in charge of this utterly hates and abhors this church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and their prophets, their presidents. That's what this means, boys and girls. For murdering Joseph Smith, whoever it is up there, or whoever it was in the past, who saw, they were pissed and furious and knew in advance of the setup of the stars in heaven to know when and to know who, and thus to know where on earth they would be. This is wild. And so, yes, I do not see Russell Marion Nelson escaping this. Get your Deadpool list out. No, not Deadpool, the Marvel character, Ryan Reynolds. The Clint Eastwood movie with Zoolander, or not Zoolander, the other guy who did Zoo movies. Forgetting his name. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. You're on drugs again, aren't you? You're using. Oh man, I just gotta. Good movie. Good movie. Good movie. Jim Carrey. Got it. Liar, liar. Everybody's friendly because you're. Sylvia Crystal. She's so smart. Such big brains. And so, yes, we expect a death, according to the pattern. And so, yes, according to the pattern, we do have, in the time frame here, the last year of the latter days. And the last day is 8 April 2024. And so as the 21st of August 2017 was the solar eclipse to start it off, with 23rd of September 2017. And remember, Hales also died in 2017, 1st of October. So there's another lesser prophet who bit the big one. But his death was kind of covered up with that Las Vegas thing, which I was watching it that night from 1 to 3 in the morning as it just happened. And I'm watching the local Nevada news, and I'm going, wait a minute, why are you making the claim that he's the shooter? How did you know? What? How? You're not supposed to convict him until he's been... Huh? No, wait a minute. His chest was blown away, and he just has a bandage covering his chest. It's not taped to his body, and there's no blood on it. What's going on? I'm trying to find the actual footage of the incident, and I'm hearing a video clip by one guy who says, it's just the loudspeakers, it's just the loudspeakers. Nobody's getting blown away. And I see one video where everybody's running, I don't see people getting shot and their heads blown off, as the one guy was claiming, who ended up being the best friend of the guy who had his chest blown out and was there at the hospital with him, as no blood or no taped bandage. The whole thing was weird. And so then I'm finding out that there was this thing called flash mobs for staged events that was also going on during that time period, and just too much confusion. Nobody was telling the facts of what was happening and going on, and then there were funerals. Even in Utah, there were some Utah Mormons who supposedly died, and I'm just going, oh, I'm not seeing evidence of death. And even people getting rushed into the hospital, nobody's bleeding. What the hell? They're on gurneys, they're supposed to be bleeding, nobody's, there's something weird going on. And it was never solved, and the press went their own way and assumed that it's all true, and then there were denialists who said it was a conspiracy because it was right before the pyramid in Las Vegas at an altar of the concert, which that was kind of cool, which again, that was just weird. But yeah, Hale's death was sidelined because of that incident. That was weird. And so yes, I expect, because of the pattern with the final day of darkness, that it's Nelson's turn. We are told in the scriptures that the great and abominable church will fall. The whole church, not just the president. We are witnessing there is a force that seems to know everything before it happens. And this is it. This is the final year. We already know the enemy is going to destroy the United States of America. 3 Nephi chapter 7 tells us exactly that this is going to happen, as we've been told it's going to happen. Book of Mormon is true. And it hasn't even happened yet. But everybody's calling for it. Everybody's promising it. Everybody is calling for voter intimidation, voter fraud, voter denialism, voter suppression, and denying of the election results, and voting for Trump and only having Trump as their president and not accepting Biden as the president if he gets the win overall with the Electoral College. The states have already said we're going to not have Biden win regardless of whether he wins. It's already set for the destruction of America. They've made this very clear, and yet the deep state Dems are like shocked. Oh no, Trump said bloodbath. Yes, he's been saying bloodbath for a long time. He said it back in 2020. They failed. They're doing it again. This time they're going to win at all costs, even if it destroys America. And that's what 3 Nephi 7 says. They will succeed and destroy America. No more federal government. That is the only way to have Zion. That's the only reason for Zion, because it'll send the whole world into war with America falling. And in the midst of the war, Zion. But nobody believes. And so it's a cave for me. So yes, announcement. If nothing happens after conference by 8 April, we already know something's going to happen in the election. I am planning on retiring yet again. I hope I can retire this time. Because otherwise, yeah, Armageddon caused me to come out of retirement last year on October 7th, right after conference. Dear God. I came back to do a conference video because Nelson did his at-home video, which was actually at the conference center. They wheelchaired him in. Thanks, Celesta. Oh my God. And so, yeah, I don't understand you guys. Isaiah, it says, was this the man? He's nothing. He's nothing. I have met him face to face at the Supersmiths and at the Salt Lake Temple. He's nothing. He's just a man. Why do you fear and tremble him? So, yeah. Dear God. I am expecting something. And so, let's get to what that something is. The penumbral on Purim, the festival of lots. So, yes, Nephi and his brothers draw lots to see who goes, and it's Laman who goes. And then Lot, but that's a different spelling in Hebrew. That's not the lots of Purim. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Copied the wrong date. March 25th, 2024. Time and date shows that it's over North and South America. That's where the major focus of it is. And then there's the lesser bands in the Eastern Asia and Eastern Australia and West Africa and Europe. We'll see the lesser portion of the penumbral eclipse. Penumbral eclipses are lighter than others, so it's kind of difficult to tell that it's happening. But it is a lunar type eclipse. And I just... And so, yeah, this is a little bit smaller than your normal lunar eclipse, too. Most normal lunar eclipses are a little wider of a band. So, yeah. For Purim, the Jewish holy day, the freeing of captives. Do we need to go over scripture? Do we? Because again, you're being warned, Mormons, from scripture. From Joseph Smith, specifically, which he got from the Bible, which they got from the Egyptians. Section 103, about the redemption of Zion. Apparently they knew you were not going to believe and thus missed the Exodus in 2020. Verse 16, therefore, the man like Moses from Deuteronomy 18, prior to Deuteronomy 19, which verse 20 and 18 is the false prophet. Guess who that is? Section 85, verse 8. Yeah, that's what Joseph is referring to. Deuteronomy 18. The man like Moses is the one mighty and strong. The false prophet? Yeah, the latter-day church prophet, Nelson. Everybody knew. Everybody knows. Theme song in the description below. I should watch that again. Superman from the House of El. Sun God at noonday. Yes, Jews, learning of the Jews. Superman. Christians are not happy with the learning of the Jews and wanted him to change. He can't have a child out of wedlock. Oh my God. Stop! It's not your religion. Back off. Dear God. For Mormons are the children of Israel and the seed of Abraham. And Mormons must needs be led out of bondage. Which church are you in? Therefore it's the great and abominable church. It's led by Lucifer, Russell Marion, red star of the sea, Mars, husband of Venus, inverted pentagram symbol. Blatantly obvious. Anybody can figure this out. All you have to do is use learning of the Jews and remove Christianity from your brain. Nobody wants to do that. So yeah, child faith. He's struggling. He lost a friend who couldn't give up Jesus. All fun and games with the Jews and astronomy, but don't touch my Jesus. And so, that's what we're looking at. The release from bondage. 180 years. From when Joseph died is the birth of the kingdom. The last day's Christ's birthday is the death of St. Patrick. I already did this for you on the Sunday. Been doing it for years. And so yeah, it's coming. Bye. Place your bets now. You know, like when a child is known to be coming into the earth, the family and friends usually place bets on what day the child will be born. So for Clayton, I was saying that it was going to be June 13th, and it ended up being June 11th. I was close. I think I might have won, because I was the closest. I don't know, don't care.